I'm attempting to build this team only using the Rule 5 draft. We've gone through 2 years now in this experiment. In the first season, we won 50 games. In the second season, we also won 50 games. I'm not sure yet if this can be done, but we certainly have to get some improvement shown here if this is going to have a chance at working. Welcome back, everybody, to the Rule 5 rebuild on MLB The Show 21. We're going to go through our third draft today and see if we can make any more progress building upon 50 wins. I feel like overall the team is getting more talented and we can see the development for some key players like Zach Veen, who's up to a 74 overall. Just had his contact go up 10 in the last season for contact versus righties, plus 6 for contact versus lefties. Took his average up 50 points roughly. So there are certainly players who are getting better, but the win total has to also reflect that eventually. Derek Rodriguez up to a 79 overall. He is the current ace of the team, but it doesn't look like he is developing at a very fast rate. But at least he's played decent. A few players showed some good potential in this last season we went through, like Michael Gigliotti, who's up to a 76 overall after hitting 250, 9 home runs. It's certainly not spectacular, but you can work with that. A 1.9 WAR. Whoa, the Twins won the World Series! How? I know they weren't able to re-sign Byron Buxton, but they brought in Trevor Story and Whit Merrifield, and somehow they won the World Series with what seems to just be a decent roster. Maybe that gives us some hope in this series. I wonder if we could bring Dave Roberts to Miami to manage this team. That would certainly help. And we don't really have a large team salary, so we could easily give him a huge offer. And instead, Dave Roberts is going to the Rays. Now we're going to offer to Micah Sedenquist clutch, contact, break, and arm accuracy boost. We'll offer a 3-year contract at 5.5. There we go, we have a new manager for the Marlins. Where are the Twins finding all this money to sign free agents? Whoa, we have Shohei Ohtani going to the Padres in this series. 275 over 10 years. And it's time for the third Rule 5 draft in the series. Now, I am keeping track of every player we end up drafting because some of them are now going to be developing at AAA. And we started doing that in the last season, but I just want to make sure I can keep track of everybody, but I do have a spreadsheet to take care of this. Now, we obviously drafted 26 players in year 1. We went and drafted 10 players a year ago, and a handful of those players did not make the team because we can only have a 26-man roster, and you have to be on the team for a full year after the Rule 5 draft to go down to AAA. So I only have 8 spots available. I don't imagine we're making a lot of moves. We just hope to make the ones we do end up making count. Now, anybody here for Jacksonville is already in our organization, and they are just players that were on the team when this all began. So they're not part of our rebuild. They're not eligible for us to use in this series. So looks like we should have a few more solid options. It's easier if you sort by each position. There are some really intriguing options in this draft. I do want to start it with a starting pitcher though. Matt Hall, 99 break, 68 hit per 9, K per 9, walk per 9, home run per 9, all in the low 60s, only 69 stamina. I was comparing these two pitchers, and I just think that Hall with the 99 break and the walk per 9 and home run per 9 being a bit better, that gives him the edge even if he's a year older. So we're going to make Matt Hall our first round pick. I feel like we have 3 starting caliber outfielders that I'm happy with: Michael Gigliotti, Dom Thompson-Williams, and Zach Veen. But let's bring in Gabriel Maciel, worst case scenario, elite defender it looks like, and a 4th outfielder, and only 24 years old. If we scroll down here, Austin Hendrick is available, a potential, and another outfielder. So he'd probably just be depth, and then we'd hope to develop him after a year at AAA, and I'm not against that. We've also relied a lot on older veterans for our bullpen in this series, and I'd like to at least add one younger pitcher. So here is minor league all-star Joey Gerber, 70 overall, B potential from Minnesota, and currently in the Mariners organization. Nobody's drafted Evan Krukzinski. Hope I'm saying that right. Correct me if I'm not, but we will take him here in like the 5th round. This may be our last pick. At this point, I'm not sure I'm drafting players that will make the roster, but let's bring in Alika Williams. 65 plate vision, pretty balanced hitting ratings across the board. Really, all the ratings are pretty balanced. And only 24 years old. I think that's all we're going to do this year. Edward Cabrera is already in the Marlins organization in this game. Maximo Acosta, we drafted him in the Rule 5 draft last year, and he didn't make the team, so I think we have enough competition right now. Hopefully, we can have some more success in year 3. We're done with this Rule 5 draft. One of the changes we did make this year, though, is we did not bring back Yolmer Sanchez. He only started for a little bit of last year, and I just didn't think he'd have a starting role this season, so we don't have a lot of veteran position players now. Riley Thompson was one of the players we selected in the first draft, and then we sent him down to AAA for year 2. Now I want to see what he can do back at the big league level now that he's a 72 overall. Alright, so a pretty bad spring training once again, 6-18, and I did rotate some players through the lineup. Some players were struggling, so they got less playing time. Zach Veen didn't have the best spring, hitting 192. Here are the leaders. Jesse Franklin, 417 and 36 at-bats. Luke Raley hit 310. Alika Williams. We weren't getting the best play from Nick Gonzalez, so I gave Williams a couple weeks of starting play, 53 at-bats, 4 home runs, hitting 283, and can play second and third base as well. So one of the more intriguing additions to the team, it looks like, this season. Dom Thompson-Williams hit 250, Davey Grullon 267. Also gave some playing time to Gabriel Maciel, who hit 250 in 40 at-bats, no home runs. And yeah, that is an absurdly low ISO, so not only no home runs, but likely no doubles or triples, just 1 extra base hit in 40 at-bats. I like ISO to measure power here. Alika Williams, number 1. Curtis Terry, number 2. Luke Raley, Jesse Franklin, Jordan Brewer, Aaron Sabato. Not a great spring, so probably more playing time going to Curtis Terry. For the pitching, our first round pick this year, Matt Hall, went 2-1 in 25 innings, 22 strikeouts, 3.5 ERA, 1.17 whip. Definitely going to be in the rotation to start the season. Derek Rodriguez, 4.29 ERA, a 1.19 whip. Dennis Santana, 6.39. Evan Krukzinski, 4.91. And some better play from JT Ginn. Riley Thompson, 6.89. I know that his first start or 2 seemed to go well, and then the next ones did not. But very difficult to do much with such a small amount of innings. So at least to start the year, I do want to send Nick Gonzalez down to AAA. He's never hit higher than 214 for us in this series, so he'll get that chance to develop a bit more. Joey Gerber is not going to make the cut this year. We'll release him. And that'll take us into the new season. Our team salary is down to $28 million. I'm pretty sure it was like 40 last year, but maybe I have to go sign some minor league players quick. But here's what we're looking at to start the year. I think that we've made some good additions to the starting rotation, and I like how the outfield is coming together with Veen and Dom Thompson-Williams, trying to figure out the other spot here. Franklin's going to play, Maciel is going to play, and as the season unfolds, I'll be mixing up the lineup and seeing what works. The infield is where I think we really need to find more offense. Howard is a good defender, so he's playing short. Alika Williams, new starter at second base. Luis Aviles playing third. Curtis Terry at first. Really hoping we can get some more offense out of the infield, but right now, I'm not sure how promising that looks. The season is underway, trying to build upon 50 wins each of the first 2 seasons, and in this first month, right now, we're 7-9. This isn't too bad. I'm used to like 6-7 wins a month. 9-14 isn't great. We're not putting up a lot of runs, but maybe there's some slight improvement. The numbers are already much better for Zach Veen. Dom Thompson-Williams also doing well, hitting over 300 with 4 home runs. Chadwick Trump, he's doing a good job at catcher. 244 here for Luis Aviles, 3 home runs. Gabriel Maciel, kind of part-time starting right now, hitting 243 with a couple homers. Ed Howard hitting 272 at short. Not going to complain about that. Alika Williams not hitting the home runs like in spring, but getting some doubles, hitting 261. And a positive WAR player right now. Would like to see that ISO come up a bit, of course. And then the pitching, Derek Rodriguez, good first month, 2.56 ERA. JT Ginn, 4.26, 4.05 for Matt Hall, 3.6 for Riley Thompson, but 10 for Luis Perdomo. We will probably just make a move here and get Dennis Santana back into the rotation. We basically have 3 starting pitchers being long relievers because I think just we need more relief pitching, and I think 3 players with good stamina is kind of necessary. All right, the first month I think was a step up. The second month starting a bit slow for us. Again, we just struggle to score more than 5 runs. It doesn't happen much. 12, now 13 and 29. Month 2, not great. We have picked up win number 40 on August 11th. Trying to get past 50 victories this year. Can we do it with a month and a half to go? I've been checking on the lineup a couple times a month and the pitching to see how everybody's performing. Long losing streak here. Come on, we got to get to 50. I want 55. We just won 5 games out of this entire month. Okay, 6. Nick Gonzalez has been playing at AAA for most of the year, and he's hitting 241 with 16 homers. I say we bring him back to the majors and see what he can do. And we've had a lot of issues with that third outfield spot this season, so I want to bring up Jordan Brewer and see what he can do as well. Well, at the very least, I'm hoping we don't win less games than the first 2 years in the series. We're actually winning some games here in September. We're doing great on Mondays, apparently. 48 wins. Come on. You gotta win at least 3 more. There's 1 against the Pirates. There's 2. A 3-game winning streak. It's officially the most successful year. Come on. Get 1 more. 53, 54, and 108. All right. We will take that. 54 wins. Here is a look at the depth chart now, and certainly now we have some more players in the high 70s and a couple in the low 80s as well. Derek Rodriguez up to 82. Not sure how much better he could get, but a 3.6 ERA this season, better than last year for sure. That's solid. JT Ginn up to 80 overall. And looks like a slight improvement for ERA. Strikeouts seem to be a bit better. We're seeing 8.8 compared to 8 last year. Yeah, we'll take that. Matt Hall, our first round pick this year, a 4.12 ERA. 124 strikeouts and 164 innings. Hard to get those high strikeout pitchers, I'm noticing. There were a couple things that impressed me though this year. Alika Williams, first year on the team, hitting .240 with 17 home runs. Pretty much started all season long. What'd the ISO end up being here? Just, 144 is about average. I'm really happy with that. I was hoping to find at least one breakout here in the infield, and maybe we got two, because he played well. Ed Howard hit .250, 12 home runs. He's only 22 years old. Good improvement here across the board, and certainly better than a year ago where he also played a ton. I didn't realize he played 145 games last year, but this is substantial improvement. Will the ISO get to 158? We'll take it. Dom Thompson-Williams kind of took a step back for us, and the power numbers are actually going down. That is certainly not what I want to see. Zach Veen ended up hitting 28 home runs, which is the most we've had for anybody in this experiment. So when you nearly double your home run total, I'm okay losing 25 points of average. I'm sure the ISO's way up, and it is to 220. That's very promising. A few players did disappoint though. Michael Gigliotti just hit 167, 169, just could not get consistent. Gabriel Maciel hit 195. Nick Gonzalez, 255. Didn't play a ton this year at the major league level. Jordan Brewer, just 174. Didn't do a lot. Only one player even at an 8K per 9 for the pitching. That's really difficult to get right with this team. So let's take a look at our team rankings. Of course, we're last here in batting average, and this is even lower than year one, which was 226. Home runs, 151, better than year one, which was 135. I messed up looking at stats in year two, so I don't actually have our totals there, but I can at least compare to season one. Team ERA, 22nd at 4.23. That's still a little bit higher than year one. Runs allowed is a little bit better than that season, but sure feels like we have a few players we can certainly keep building around. I say we do 2 seasons in this episode. Okay, what's interesting now is we're getting to the point where a lot of the players from year one are actually going to be arbitration eligible, so we might actually have a larger payroll. I'm not sure how much larger, but a little bit more difficult to get the contracts done now. All right, year 4's Rule 5 draft. Again, we get the number 1 pick. What can we do this year? Max Meyer is in the Marlins organization in real life, so I'm not having him eligible here. Anybody that started in the Marlins organization, obviously not going to be drafted. Oh, one player I forgot to talk about earlier, by the way. Austin Hendrick, I think we drafted him at like 68 overall or something. He ended up getting a fair amount of playing time this year, 71 games. And he hit 13 home runs in that time, 46 RBIs, a 239 average. I was pretty happy with what he was able to do, so definitely hoping to get him more reps this year. We didn't get great play out of our first baseman last season. They were hitting under 200 pretty much all season. So from the Pirates organization in real life, we are going to be drafting Ji Hwan Bae to see if we can get that first base position solved. Catcher is a spot that I haven't thought much about, but Chadwick Tromp has hit under 200 every year we've done this. I feel like we could bring in some competition. We have Israel Pineda and Cal Raleigh. Raleigh has a bit better offense here, better contact and power. Pineda, a better defender. I'm really intrigued by Cal Raleigh with hitting ratings, but I think I'm going to end up drafting both catchers. I know in real life, Raleigh just got called up a little bit ago by the Mariners, and he's been batting like in the middle of their order. We'll see if we have a couple new catchers make the team this year. In real life, the Twins just got Joe Ryan in the Nelson Cruz trade, And I want somebody with a higher K per 9. We're struggling to get to even 8 strikeouts per 9 innings, so we're going to bring in Joe Ryan. This time we only make 4 Rule 5 selections. The drafts are getting smaller and smaller. I'm trying to develop the majority of these players. Oh, wait a minute. I thought Ji-hwan Bae was a first baseman. He plays second and third. Oh well, I still have a plan here. I want to see him get a chance to hit. 9-15 spring training here for the Marlins after a good couple of weeks to close this out. Derek Rodriguez, more of the same. JT Ginn, 5.81. Matt Hall's numbers aren't great. Dennis Santana's numbers look pretty solid. Joe Ryan, not sure he's going to start this year in the rotation. 4 home runs for Matt Thaiss, hitting under 200 at first base, still struggling there. Alika Williams, 3 home runs, 275 average, looks like he continues to start. Ed Howard hit only 127, we'll see how much better that gets, should be better. Zach Veen, 2 home runs, 229, nothing too special there. Ji-hwan Bae, 227, 2 home runs, probably makes the team. Israel Pineda hit 179 at catcher in 39 at-bats. How about Cal Raleigh, 297 in 37 at-bats. And hey, Nick Gonzalez, much better here in the spring. Looks like he's back to being a big league starter again. I don't think Pineda's going to make the team. I want to have Cal Raleigh and Chadwick Tromp this year. Tromp the better defender. I actually don't think that Joe Ryan's going to make the team. We have a lot of pitchers that I'm still trying to develop, and we're having some success with players like Dennis Santana and Domingo Robles, so he doesn't make the cut. And just like that, we are ready for another year in this rebuild attempt. We have 3 starting pitchers now at least an 80 overall, and I feel like the pitching can be pretty decent with this team. Hopefully, Cal Raleigh helps us raise the average a bit. Still don't know that we have a good first baseman on this team. Hoping for a bounce back from spring training for Ed Howard, Alika Williams. Hopefully more of what we saw a year ago was really solid. So, we get this first month underway. Takes us over a week to get that first win. And by the end of the first month, we have a 5-19 record. At what point do I give up? I don't know, but I'm not there yet. Still want to give this some time, and now we're sending more players down to AAA. I feel like we're going to be able to get better than where we are right now for sure. I hope. A better second month of the year. That's not a bad stretch here over these last 10 games or so. So by the end of month number 2, it's now an 18-win season. We're still seeing Gonzalez struggle a lot at the major league level. He's up to 80 overall, but just not getting the offense. So we will try Ji-hwan Bae as a starting second baseman. Cal Raleigh has not been great, hitting only 182. Meanwhile, Tromp is hitting 241, so we might switch those 2 again. Last year was a 53-win season, correct? Well, we have 25 here midway through June. Feels like this is a better month for us as well. Not bad. Matt Hall's having some struggles though, so he's going to get some playing time at AAA as we bring back Riley Thompson, who's having a decent year at AAA. Definitely feels like this season has a chance to be a lot better. We're only like 22 games under 500 right now. And we usually finish the year 60 under. But it's all about how these last couple months go. 42 wins in August, come on. See, we go on these random losing streaks for a full week. We can't have that. So this month, not our best. Finish it with a couple wins and already 48 victories. Come on, we gotta pass 53 this year. 50 wins by September 7th. 52, 53 there against the Mets. So closing in on the best of the series, and we do have it now. 55 wins, and we're going to finish. Can we get to 60? One more. 60 wins. 60 and 102. So very slow progress here, but we did get better this episode. The next thing would be losing under 100 games. Zach Veen, our first 30 home run season, continuing to get better. 82 overall, now 4 years in the big leagues, so getting closer to free agency. But really similar season to a year ago. Just a couple more home runs, almost the same average, OPS. He's solidified himself as perhaps the best player on the team, and somebody we should be building around for the long term in this series. Dom Thompson-Williams, 244, 19 home runs, did get some development. The power didn't go down this year. He did hit 19 home runs, but still not quite where we'd like him to be. Chadwick Trump ended up hitting 189, so another year under 200. Started most of the year at catcher. 9 more homers. Only 2 players, though, with double-digit home runs. Luis Avila's hit for a pretty good average. Ed Howard up to 223, so that's a step down from the previous season we went through, unfortunately. Ji-Hwan Bae, 213, 7 home runs. Got a lot of playing time this year. This is an okay performance, nothing special. 128 ISO. Gabriel Maciel, 242 with 5 homers. Michael Gigliotti, a bit better, but not showing really much power. 254 average and 4 home runs and 481 at-bats. So that's an at-bat per home run of 120. Cal Raleigh ended up with a 206 average. Still didn't really have a lot of power. Then for the pitching, I did have Evan Kruksinski become a starter partway through. He had a 3.57 ERA. That is a nice improvement for him, going from being a bullpen pitcher to a starter and getting better in really every category. JT Ginn, 5.09 ERA, lost 20 games this season. Looks like a bit of a step back in most departments. What if we sort by K per 9? I've been trying to get us to have a few more higher than 8, and we don't have anybody even at 8 this season. Derek Rodriguez, only 6 strikeouts per 9 innings, and this season was a step back for him. A pretty significant one, it would appear. Alika Williams, by the way, got called down to AAA, I guess, when we had the expanded rosters. 14 homers, 228 average. Kind of a similar year to the one before. A little bit worse ISO. Obviously a WAR of -2. So it's certainly slow progress you make in here. But today we went from being just a 50-win team to a 60-win team. It did take a couple years. We have more players now, getting to or close to 80 overall. So I'll give it another go next episode. We're now 4 seasons in. And I guess now we're trying to become more of a 500 team and see, like, when these players start to hit free agency, what that does. And it could end up, stalling our progress, but only one way to know, and we'll find out soon. So let me know what you think of this. If you've enjoyed it to this point, please leave a like if you are, and subscribe to the channel, and your feedback in the comments is always very much appreciated. I'll see you with more of the Marlins here soon. Have a great day, everybody.